Hello everyone for a new video. So this is videos after the Dominating Blow Guardian. So this is the one I was talking about. This is the Dominating Blow Necromancer. This one is cost a lot more to give you heads up in advance, but this build is a lot stronger because of the fact that it runs extremely high resistance, chaos is positive. The only difference really is you don't have fizz damage reduction like the Guardian did. And your blockchain is not maxed out like the Guardians. So that's really the difference, really. But yours one's a little bit more tanky because it runs, the Guardian, more Specter, zombies, purities. And to make this fair, I didn't use any. There's 0 Awakening gems on this build. There's no 21, 23 gems, not even a 21. Nothing but 21 in it. No 23 quality gems. It's all base 2020, just to make it so like if you want to build it. So it runs some of the same gear. So it does run the Scourge like the other build. And the Scourge in this build is just a Desecrate, Flesh Offering, and Conviction. Whatever, levels don't matter too much on this. So the helmet though is the Vertex. These are expensive during League start by 1 or 2 exalts, but they do go down over price over time. You run the helmet just because it's +1 socketed gems, reduced mana reserve, energy shield, more energy shield, more chaos res. Enemies can't leech mana from you. It's a really nice shield. A really good helmet overall. And it's the animated guardian setup with the main, the frenzies, and the zombies. You don't care too much about the reduced mana cost. It's more of the other stuff it gives you. An animated guardian, I went with the same thing I did with the in the original what you want to call it, the original golem build. The super cheap 1-2 chaos items. So exact same as that then. Necklace is still the exact same necklace from all the other times. The Chilulu necklace just for the cannot be stunned, more energy shield, more chaos res, attributes with the Charismera. Exact same setup as pretty much every build out there. And more life converted to energy shield. So the Prison Guardian, I didn't get it corrupt on this just to make it so if you just bought more like a 10 chaos one, you can pretty much run the same build. But it's the same thing, your Purity of Ice, your Haste, your Pride. Pretty much any 2 50% and 1 35%, doesn't matter which ones you put in the helmet. The rings, all that, it doesn't matter really. So for the rings, you would normally go the Vincent rings, but I decided to try something a little bit cheaper, just so if you play on like a league start or a new league, it'd be more doable. If you have Vincent rings, put the Vincent rings in. They're extremely good overall, just because it'll increase the discipline, the purity of fire by more. So it's more energy shield and more resistance. Amazing gems, amazing rings overall. So if you're not going Vincent rings, both rings you just want strength and dex on them. Strength and dex, high as possible, and whatever else you can get on them, get on them. But for me, I just got strength and dex, and I crafted energy shield on both. It was a lot cheaper. And then so we'll do that last. So the Centrix, pretty much look for dex on it and energy shield. And then make sure you link them separate like this. So 2 on the bottom, 2 on top. Because you want Dread Banner and Generosity together so that those 2 go to your minions for the Impale. And then on the bottom you want any of the purities you don't have equipped on the ring or the shield, put in here as a spot. And Precision, you want this to be on you just for your chance to hit. That's the only reason you run it. It's still Torment's Regulation as the belt. If you can't afford this, you can go with the base version of this belt before you, the one that needs the 2 pieces. Or you can get it as a Stygian belt with energy shield resistance, jewel slot even in there. You can put more minion stuff. Minions can blind on there. A lot of stuff options you can go with. So the gloves, you do want a strike skill glove. They're extremely strong with the strikes. It makes it so that when you attack like this, you can hit 2 enemies at once. So it makes it a lot easier. So it makes it a lot easier just because when you try without the strike gloves, you'll notice it. I notice it on the Guardian. When I'm hitting them, I don't really hit as fast. But with this, you hit extremely quickly. So this is pretty much your usual, the Blood Magic, the usual Race Specters, the same ones from Act 7. And the Vitality, just so that they heal. It doesn't really matter. But this usually we want Divergent Vitality, but I don't know if we're gonna have these the special quality gems next league. Well, we know it's a mapping league, so I'm not trying to go with those. Just make it easier. And then Visual Flame Dash. And then let's talk about the chest piece. So the chest, you do have two options. You don't have to run the shavs like this. This is the best in slot is shavs, 6. So your two options is get a 6 white, which is about 10 exalts if they're in the market. Or see if you can find a 5 white one that's really hard to get and 1 blue. They're rare. Or another option is you can always go to the crafting bench, get a 6 link shaft and put the 3 red sockets on it. And then just hope on the other 3 off ones, you do Vorky on Jun, and just hope that he hits 3 white on the off ones, because you can get him if you put him in. If you put Vorky right here, any of this column or the research one, it's the only thing you can do that'll let you and every rank he has reduces or has a chance of getting more white sockets. But this is probably the easier option to go with, the 6. If you can't go with this one, you can do the there's a really cheap shield, I forget what it's called, but it's the exact same thing. Chaos damage cannot bypass energy shield on it, but it's a lot weaker overall. I think it's strength base, so it's easier to get the reds on it. But it's another option if you don't have the shavs, until you build up to the shav. And then Flasks, it's your diamond, your granite flask for more armor, movement speed, evasion, phasing, and your taste of fate like everyone runs. And then for bosses, let me I forgot the links actually. So it's your dominating blow, your melee fizz, multi-strike, your brutality, the minion damage, and your melee splash. This is the mapping setup. If I'm doing bosses, I'll put in a damage on full life, since you're always at full life with this build, instead of melee splash for more boss damage. You don't really need it unless you're doing Conquerors or Cyrus. Regular map bosses, you don't really have to switch it like this. There's no point. So let's do a quick, skill tree. So it's the exact same as a Necromancer, all the ones we've been playing all league. The 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on which route you need. You probably need the resistance. So this is pretty almost identical to the same skill tree we did earlier in the league. The only difference is right here, like energy from within. I didn't get corrupted blood in it to make it so it's more reasonable to look at. Just to convert this node right here. And then right here is Fortress Converter. Convert it. It's extremely cheap to get. You use this just for more minion. Minion damage, block. It's very good. And then up here, you take your reduced mana, energy shields, the usual, mana reduction, all the same pretty much stuff you normally would take with the build. So the 2 clusters are the exact same clusters we pretty much ran in the Golem build. It's just instead of the Primordial Jewels, it's just regular base jewels. So it's still Renewal, Rod and Claws, Renewal, Rod and Claws. And then in mediums, it's still the 6 passive, all the same. So 6 passive, it's still the exact same. First one equals replenishing. First one replenish. First replenish, and first replenish. If you can't afford the 6 one, just get the a 4 or 5 one for now, and then upgrade it later. And then the jewel slots. So there is a Watcher's Eye in here. This Watcher's Eye was super cheap, was under Exalt when I got it. Just because no one really cares about regenerate energy shield per second while affected by discipline. It's not really a known one that people like to run, so that's why it's really cheap. If you don't have it, just make it another jewel slot. So all the 3 jewel slots, they're all the exact same. Minions deal more damage whenever you use a minion skill. That's the most important thing you'll look for on all 3 of them. So minions deal more damage, minions deal more damage. And then after that, just get strength on them if you need strength. Get attributes like energy shields, minions deal damage. Because pretty much your biggest problem is going to be the same thing as last time. It's going to be your strength. Just because your gems run such a high amount on them. I think there's one that does a lot. Is it Dread Banner, I think? Yeah, Dread Banner is 155. So that's why you do want to have a lot of strength for that. So let's stop talking so much and let's do a map. So this one's a tier 16 maze. Let's do it by itself. So the way this build works is the same thing as the last video. You have to hit something to start. So it might feel a little clunky in the beginning. So you hit, and then you go. And once this goes off, and I press the loop filter. And then now you just start taking off. This build moves a lot quicker, which is what I do like about this build. Because you get that haste on there, so you can see I'm zooming through these maps. And if I have to, I can test Desecrate, Bone Offering, and just go. I don't know why my Flame Dash is in that spot. But the build is a little bit more nice because you do have to be with your minions attack. And when you start converting, you can just start taking off. See if I can find... The only thing to look out for is the totems. Yeah, my Flame Dash is in definitely the wrong spot. And you just want to make sure you move through the maps quick though before they all die. Because once they start to die, it really sucks. But you can see with the strike skills how easy it is to hit things compared to what the other build was. And you just pretty much just keep using Flasks. I just really screwed up. Hold on. This is driving me nuts. Oh, I forgot to do this too actually. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I forgot about them. Whenever you cast, you have to cast the Harbinger. Now it's moving faster when we go. But you can see it just wipes out screens so fast. It's like the Golem build, pretty much. So you just gotta be in with the. You just go in the fight with them. So it's a little bit more interesting to play with. But you can see it's like the builds have no problem whatsoever. Can we find the boss? There's a boss. And we'll do it with the melee splash on so you can see. See how fast the boss just dies with the health? It's on tier 16 too. And it's over. Yeah. So you definitely can see the difference between this build and the other build. I mean, yes, the other build didn't have gems maxed out like this, but it still shouldn't matter. But the build's extremely strong. I would recommend this version over the Guardian just because you saw how fast the build moves so quick. It's more auras they can put on too. The haste is amazing when you use this. The build without haste, I'll show you how fast. So when I turn haste off, you can see how much slower we're moving. Attack speed is still good, but we still move slow. Once you put haste on though, you saw how fast you ran. Let me just pop back in here real fast. Because you see like in here, moving like this. Once you put haste on though, you move a lot better. You don't notice it too much, but when you start going, the build definitely picks up quickly. So that's the Necromancer build. I'll put this one in the link description below. The same person who made the Golem build made this one. And this build's definitely a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot cheaper than the Golem build. Because you don't need the Primordial Jewels. If it's a league where Primordial Jewels are worth a shit ton. Like this, like Heist League was and Flashback. But the only expensive piece is probably the shafts right here. Just because of the colors on it, it's probably the hardest piece to get. But you can definitely play both builds, because both builds use pretty much the exact same. I think it's like 10 points maybe to convert to Dominate Blow in the skill tree. But it's super easy to build. If you build one, just get a 6-link white shaft like this one. And you can pretty much play both builds with the exact same gear. Just switch your weapon in and out. That's all you gotta do. Because, and the gloves too actually. So the belt's the same, boots are the same, just the links are different. Same shield, same. Vincent rings. Almost the exact same gems too on both builds. So both builds are pretty much close to the same. If I was going to make any changes, I would change the specters. I would do one host, one chieftain, or Carnage chieftain, and one tool. Just for tool gives you that cloud shot for a more defensive layer. And then change the animated guardian to an extremely expensive one. With like, you know, the same one we did last time. I'm not going to go over all of it. But that's going to cost you 10 plus exalts. So it's not needed. That's how fast you see with just having them like this, more damage, movement speed alone. So that's the end of the, that'll be the end of this video. This is something I had already pre-done before Flashback started. I just forgot about this build. So I'm going to sell this character off now. And what we're going to do next, I'm going to create 3 builds. 2 of them are potential ideas for next league. And one is just, and so I'm gonna level them all up today on stream, or no, well, 2 days ago on stream, based on you seeing this video. So by now, all of them should be leveled up, hopefully, and starting gearing. So then, I'm hoping we're gonna have a Poison Blade Vortex build, which is ideal for, which could be a potential for next league, since we know that next league's all about maps, and Poison Blade Vortex is a mapper. You have Bleed Bow Gladiator, I believe, the one that's exploding pops. It's extremely strong. I just gotta learn how to play bow builds better, since you saw earlier in this league I wasn't the best at it, but I do want to try it again with the actual exploding chest and all that, the one that pops the screen. Since we do know that Harvest is coming back next league, exploding chests might be easy to get. And then the other build is more of a fun build for this league. Is the one we played in Heist League, or no, Harvest League. It's the Auto Bomber with the Assassin, the Stormseeker rings, Herald of Thunder. Pretty much the build's extremely fun to play. It was my favorite build to play in Heist League, in a Harvest League. Just because you run around and the screen just pops off and you just take off with how fast you move. With Headhunter, Badge of Brotherhood. Because when I played it, I didn't have the currency to get Headhunter, Badge of Brotherhood. So it was a lot different me playing it. It was more of a cheap budget version. But I still had the weapon, the helmet, the chest piece, and all that. But I do want to try this build with those two, with the Frenzy chest, to see what it's like at full power. Since we do have currency to play with, I might do it. Once I sell this character, it's like another 50 exalts probably in this character alone. We can have fun with it. So thank you for everyone who came out today. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button below. Come follow me on Twitch. Definitely try to figure out what to do for next league. We'll do a reaction when that drops on the 13th. No, on the 7th, I think, or 8th, whatever day it is. Sometime coming up. And then hopefully we'll have an idea what we're playing next league. But I think it might be Bleed Bow or Poison Blade Vortex, so I'm thinking. Just because we want to go through maps quickly, since I'll have that whole entire week to play. And I want to focus extremely heavy on one character instead of doing what I do every league and play multiples so fast. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.